Dr. Saji Varghese is an associate professor in the Department of English at Christ University in Bangalore, India. He has a keen interest in grassroots innovation and has invented eco-friendly drinking straws from dead fallen coconut leaves. This innovation has provided employment to 118 women in rural India, and the straws are sold globally under the Sunbird Straws brand.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for having me here. My name is Saji Varghese, and I work at Christ University, as you mentioned. So I'll just walk you through an innovation which we tried here at Christ University. And here, students from different streams come together, and we try out we identify different problems, and then we try to come up with solutions after a thorough problem analysis and what can be done about it. So, as you know, India is a tropical country with lots of coconut plantations across several states. In fact, almost 11 states of India has abundance of coconut farms, and a lot of livelihood depends on coconut farming, especially in South India. But the major problem is that the fallen coconut leaves, the dead coconut leaves, take a long time to decompose, 7 to 8 months, and the farmers find it difficult to dispose it faster. So they resort to burning these coconut leaves, which leads to a lot of carbon dioxide and particulate emissions. On the other hand, we also know that single-use plastic straws is such a scourge to the environment and has been destroying marine life in a very big way. And that's when, while I was having a walk in my campus, I saw some fallen coconut leaves. And for me, it was like an epiphany moment when I thought, why can't we try to convert these fallen coconut leaves into eco-friendly drinking straws? And I started my experiments. And I found out that just with a steaming for 45 seconds, the epicuticular wax of the coconut leaf itself can be brought onto the surface. And this wax, unlike paraffin wax or any petroleum based wax, is very healthy. So two of our students did an entire study of the epicuticular wax and found out that it's all phenolic compounds and it's very healthy. Plus, it gives the characteristic of making the straws water resistant and as well as hydrophobic, two qualities which are very much and even antifungal as well to a large extent. And that got me excited, and I then developed these drinking straws from fallen coconut leaves. And what I found out was that just from one coconut frond, which has leaflets on either sides, we can make up to 150 to 200 straws just from one coconut frond. And that, for me, was an indicator that it could be a very scalable and a sustainable proposition. And we can solve the problem of dead coconut leaf burning, and at the same time find an alternative to plastic straws. And so I found out a way to make out the straws, which were just spirally rolled initially. And then I worked on it for another 1 year and developed these multi-layer drinking straws so that they are more efficient and could last in a beverage for more than 4 to 5 hours. And the entire process is very chemical free because it's only primarily a steaming process, which brings us the wax onto the surface. And then I had two of my students joining me, and an engineer. So we formed a small startup, and my team of students developed these simple machines by which these straws could be rolled out. And our entire focus was, can we deploy these simple machines in the rural areas, deep pockets, where the major problem is that only, in fact, 25% of women across rural India find consistent opportunities for livelihoods. And I thought that if we can deploy these machines in the villages, we could employ rural women to make these straws, because even the raw material would be available in the vicinity in the villages. And that's how we developed these uh, conveyor systems to make these straws. So the churnout time is, we can make a straw under 2 seconds. So what it essentially means that it's a fine balance between technology upgradation and at the same time keeping its social impact and provide rural employment. And as a part of my pilot, I have started 5 production centers in 5 different villages in 3 different states of India. And we have this small production centers very close to the residences of these women. because first of all it's chemical free, so there is absolutely no issue of any chemical hazard. And the women, for the women in rural India, in fact even now they are the people who would take care of the household chores. So finding employment very close to their homes is a very key and a very important aspect. So we in these six production centers now 118 women are employed. And this is another machine that we are now developing where the throughput time can be under half a second, so we can make 120 straws in a minute. What it essentially means is that the cost of production can be lower so that we can be more competitive in the straw market. And at the same time, the women share profits of the sale of the straws. So if they can have increased productivity of these straws, then incomes actually increase. But at the same time, the cost of production for our straws drastically reduce so that we can be the market. And with these innovations, this is the unique design for which we got a patent for the straw. And now we are going to get a patent. So this is the US and the European patent, which is now ready for award. But more importantly, what brings happiness to all of us is that it is providing employment to women in rural areas. So out of these 118 women, they are working with us for the past 3 years now. And there are different challenges that the women face. Sometimes they come from very difficult households, or they themselves have physical challenges. But this particular process of making the straws is very it's low skilled. You don't require very high skills to learn it. So the women learn it in a week's time, and then they are all in a position to earn incomes for themselves. And a lot of young youth in the villages who otherwise would migrate to the cities or even to other countries to find job opportunities are now finding incomes as they help us in the logistics and in the supply of the raw material. So a lot of youngsters are also, yeah, youth also are finding employment. And with this, we are trying to address a major issue of unemployment in rural India, particularly. And these are the women who would initially do the collection of the raw material, and then they would be segregating the leaf based on their quality. And the leaf which is very infected, we cannot use it, but we can put it to other use like making biochar out of it. And these are the smiles that we have. It's quite a satisfaction that many women are finding employment on a regular basis. And most importantly, this being a non-harvest based income. One of the major problems in India is that most of the agriculture is a monsoon based. They base on, because there are no uh, proper irrigation systems, they have to depend on rain. And if it fails, the crop fails, and then they don't find incomes in livelihood opportunities throughout the year. But this product being made out of a fallen coconut leaf, they find consistent income opportunities throughout the year. And yeah, and the best part is that this product has been very well received across the globe. In India alone, we give it out to more than 180 hotels and beverage chains in the Horeca segment. We have also been able to export to a few countries, but we are getting huge orders for this product right from the Benelux region, Middle East, US, Europe. And this really is very exciting to us because the product is very well validated in the market, and we have almost like a 96% customer retention. That is, people are really happy switching over to these straws made from coconut leaf compared to the other alternatives that are available. Paper straws are not exactly chemical free. They are bleached, and also you have to cut trees to make paper. And then there are other organic alternatives like bamboo straws and hay straws. But thankfully, we have been able to keep ourselves cost effective, as well as the product is very efficient. And that is why it is very well received in the market. And then I have this huge opportunity of going to different island states of India, where we are connecting with the tribal population. Because these islands, for example, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India, Lakshadweep, these are places which has abundance of coconut farms. And at the same time, these regions struggle with a lack of opportunities. And therefore, we have been invited by the governments in these states, union territories of Andaman, Nicobar Islands, and Lakshadweep. So this is my trip to Lakshadweep, where I interacted with women from almost all the 10 islands of this group of islands called Lakshadweep, and we are now trying to deploy our machines in these islands as well to provide employment opportunities to these women in rural India. So this is an entire experiment on whether a product made out of an agri-waste can have a good acceptability in the market. And thankfully, our experiment during the last 3 years has been very, very encouraging. And also, just to add, so this is one of my students. His name is Sandeep, and he also started developing writing pens. He made writing pens from the fallen coconut leaves. This is also well received. In fact, this is a girl in Germany who uses these pens, and even the United Nations is one of our key buyers. So some of their events in Geneva and New York, they do use these pens made from the coconut leaves. And also, if you know, the midrib of the coconut leaf has always been used to make these brooms. It's very common in India. And what our engineers have been able to do is the midribs, otherwise, so it is the brooms are sold at a particular price. But one of our engineers has been able to convert the midrib of coconut leaf into these fruit garnishing sticks and burger sticks, and which is also very well received. So what we have found out that with simple, frugal innovations, we have been able to make very simple products out of agri waste and creating higher value products out of these agri waste, and then trying to ensure that they can be very efficient alternatives to the plastic cutlery that is available in the market, and at the same time. We can provide huge employment opportunities to the women in rural India. In fact, the small machines which we developed to roll out these garnishing sticks and these burger sticks are now given to people with disabilities who can, these are small machines, so which can be very easily installed in homes, and the people with disabilities who are mostly on wheelchairs, so we are providing these machines to these people with disabilities who roll it out for us, and we then sell it in the market. Also, this is another plant called pandanus, and traditionally this has been used to make mats and baskets, but most people were walking out of this tradition. And this plant is very, very important to prevent soil erosion, to minimize the impact of high tides on seashores. Unfortunately, people were cutting it away. But then again, I tried to see whether I could do something with it, and I'm very happy to tell you that I have been able to extract the thin cuticle and process it to make it absolutely water resistant. And I again developed straws and also other tubes for many other industrial applications, including in dentistry. So in effect, what it means is that we have now collaborated with the Forest Research Institute in one of the states of India, and we are trying to launch a massive pandanus propagation program. So this is the leaf that I just got, and then I experimented for 3 4 months, and I've been able to extract this cuticle, and the straws which we make from these actually can stay in a beverage for more than 100 hours. So we are going to position it as a reusable straw, and also we will be launching a massive pandanus propagation program, because so this is our collaboration with Kerala Forest Research Institute, who are trying to develop saplings through tissue culture, and we will be planting it across a lot of water bodies in different states in Kerala and in other states of India. And what it will essentially mean is that it will help us replenish our biodiversity, and at the same time cultivate it sustainably to provide incomes to the local communities. So this is something very exciting which we are about to initiate. And also, this innovations for greener options is a challenge which I keep giving to my students. And this girl Gomati, she developed adhesive band-aids, which we use for small cuts out of this cuticle. And just to add, I make the straws, and I extract the cuticle even from pineapple leaves. So again, we are actually widening the ambit of a raw material so that it can help us meet the global demand for such products, plastic alternatives, and at the same time provide incomes to local communities. So this is how we are trying to use our innovation. I'm very happy to tell you that one of my students who worked with me, his name is Chirag. He was recently awarded the Youth Ecopreneur Award by the United Nations. He is the person chiefly connected with developing the technology in-house to roll out these different straws. Uh, yeah, so we have been winning quite a few national and international awards, and that is helping us further our cause and amplify our voice and give strength to our mission. Our mission is to provide employment to women across communities in many countries. In fact, after my visit to the Philippines with the Honorable President of India, there is a lot of interest in Philippines and other countries, several African nations, Indonesia, Thailand, and Sri Lanka, to help us uh, set up more production centers in multiple geographies, to set up these production centers and provide employment to rural communities and eliminate the use of plastic straws, and also to contain CO2 emissions and particulate emissions which happens through the burning of these leaves. So that, in essence, is what we do here at Christ University. And happy to share our story of our innovation with all of you. Thanks very much for your time.